Welcome to the Bullpen. In the Bullpen today, I have Bobby Eberle, conservative political analyst, writer, and host of the 13-minute news hour, and a darling of Newsmax. We have Bobby on the show. Bobby, good day, welcome.
Hey, thanks for having me, appreciate it.
Thank you for being here, man. We only have a few minutes, so I'm gonna get right into it, okay?
Yeah.
We're gonna talk about race relations. We will start with race relations.
Okay.
Are you for or against the teaching of critical race theory?
Rashad, I'm absolutely against it. I mean, we can go over the reasons and everything, and part of it stems from my background and the way that I was raised. If I could get into that a little bit. I was born the year Dr. Martin Luther King was assassinated. So I have no doubt that his legacy and his teachings, they've always meant a lot to me. I was just giving a speech a couple weekends ago where I talked about his letter from a Birmingham jail. That teaching, that legacy is what filtered through education during my elementary and middle school years. And he talked about things like a colorblind society, judging on merit, coming together. Great American melting pot was another theme popular in those days. And if you look at the statistics, you look at polling, that healing that was necessary following the civil rights movement, following his assassination, was working. People never forgot Jim Crow. They didn't forget slavery, but there was a purpose to bring that up, to go through that, and now we heal. The thing that we have now, the problem we have now is that no one's allowing it to heal. You can't heal if you keep picking at the wound. All right, Bobby,
I know we only got a few minutes, brother, so I have to opine and interrupt. Number one, you're absolutely incorrect about the teaching of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. What you were given was what's called a summary of his teachings up until 1964. I actually teach Dr. King as a social change agent at the university. I teach Dr. Martin Luther King Jr.'s life. What happened was a curation from a professor who was hired, yes, by the King family in order to give a more watered down version of Dr. King's teachings. So you missed the part when he said after 1964 that his American dream was actually an American nightmare. You missed the lesson when Dr. King said very clearly that in order for black people to have equity in the United States of America, they must receive a universal basic income. He preached the doctrine of UBI, a progressive doctrine. You missed the ideology of when Dr. King said very clearly that whites in America were more racist than he ever believed them to initially be. So all of this got whitewashed, and I mean that literally, for the sake of a more acceptable narrative of Dr. King, and that lies the problem. Now, what about critical race theory in K through 12 education? What's up with all of these state governments saying that they are banning critical race theory in K through 12 education? Speak on that.
All right, we'll get into that, but to your point, and I appreciate your teachings of it, but this version that we had, this version that we received is a version that worked. It's a version that brought people together. But it's a lie,
brother. The point is, that's not his ideology when he died and got assassinated by racist people. That wasn't his ideology then. So it's like saying, let's take the teachings of Jesus Christ, right? You're a Christian, right?
Yes.
Would you like it if somebody took the teachings of Christ, manipulated the last 3 years of his teaching, and only gave you the first half year of his teaching?
Well, I think what you would have there is people coming out and saying, here is the proper way to go. Here is the way to do it. And when you take Martin Luther King's teachings that I learned in school, let me throw you a stat and then we'll get to critical race theory. In 2005, Gallup did a poll. They asked how many people were very worried about race relations in this country. Very worried, 16%. Today, 48%, plus another 25 that are somewhat worried. That means 73% of people today think race relations are messed up. That was only 37 in 2005.
You're reading to me a poll, and I'll get to that poll in just a second. Let me get your thoughts.
Right, yeah, but what it shows is that something happened since 2005. Okay, and that is we went away from those teachings and we started embracing things like critical race theory.
So I got to call bull, Bobby. Let me read you some real statistics of people that are actually affected rather than folks that give their opinion about race relations. In the United States of America, black women earn 62 cents for every dollar of a white man doing the same job. In the United States, Hispanic women earn only 54 cents for every dollar earned by a white man doing the same job. African American men working full time earn only 72% on the average earnings comparable to Caucasian men, and only 85% for Caucasian women doing the same job, okay? Now, another source. In 1980, college-educated black women with more work experience actually earned lower wages than college-educated white women. Another stat, the $15 minimum wage, once again, an issue that could have been resolved in this country by way of a vote, lifted a significant number of people out of poverty, especially those who are black and brown, was shot down largely by conservative talking points. But let me go back to your point about critical race theory.
Yep.
Just answer this quickly. Are you against critical race theory being taught in K through 12 education?
Yeah, absolutely against it.
Okay, Bobby. Bobby, it ain't even taught in K through 12 education. Did you know that? Critical race theory.
It absolutely is, Rashad. It absolutely is. When you see parents stepping forward, when you see parents stepping forward and forming Facebook groups and going to legislatures and going to city councils and going to school boards saying, look at this assignment. Look at what my son or daughter is being taught.
All right,
it is being fed into K through 12.
Let me bring you back to the planet, brother.
Bring me back.
Critical race theory is an advanced theoretical framework that teaches the complexities of institutional racism and how they interrelate to societal norms, policies, and institutions. It is not even taught at the undergraduate level of college. It is taught at graduate level studies, master's and doctoral programs. Critical race theory is not taught in K through 12 education. School teachers are not trained to teach critical race theory, and no child has ever come home with a homework assignment that said critical race theory. And out of the 35 states that have proposed critical race theory legislation to ban it, the word or the verbiage critical race theory, or CRT, isn't even in the bill. No bill that bans critical race theory actually has the wording critical race theory in the bill. What they're doing, Bobby, and you're a smart guy, and I want you to catch this. They are using a fabricated pretext of critical race theory to develop a context to stop teachers from teaching race relations in the United States of America, or the cause and effect reality of institutional racism in the United States of America, such as Jim Crowism, such as the fact that the US Constitution calls me 3/5 of a man. The Declaration of Independence names Native Americans savages. Those are institutional racist norms that this legislation seeks to stop teachers from teaching. Critical race theory never has been taught in K through 12 education. You're smarter than that, Bobby.
No, I am smarter than to fall for what you're saying, Rashad, because what you listed are historical facts, words that are in documents, but the core teaching of critical race theory is to look at society as groups of oppressors and the oppressed. And one of the ways they do that is looking at race. And those teachings have filtered down through every single level of education. When kids are coming home saying that I was told that it is bad to be white, that this person is better because they
race theory. That is what is being
taught.
Yes. If a student, listen, brother, if a student is told it is bad to be white, that's a dumbass teacher. Because it's not bad to be white. It's bad to be a white racist, yes, but it's not bad to be white. That's just a faulty educator. But it does not.
But that is the curriculum.
That critical race theory is being taught in that class.
That is the curriculum, though. You made a good point.
No, sir, that's not what critical race
theory is a high-level Marxist ideology taught and studied by PhD students.
Come on,
and other theoretical graduate students. I'll give you that. But what filters down to these so-called dumbass teachers that you've mentioned are exactly what I said. This is what people are getting taught, and we cannot unify if we are being taught that one race is worse than the other, if one race is better than the other.
Let me go back to something I would like you to research. Critical race theory actually de-emphasizes the individual racist person. It takes all of the blame away from racist people, and it places a critical analysis on how institutions were biased in their creation and design. So at no point, if someone is teaching critical race theory, can they ever talk about the individual racist person? Because that is adversarial to the concept of critical race theory. I want you to research that. I only got 4 minutes with you.
Okay, absolutely. And actually, Rashad, I agree with you on that one, because what this girl is coming home crying, talking about that is the fact that yes, you can take away the individual, but what is in that place, what replaces that is this ideology that systemically this race is bad. Systemically, this race is an oppressor, and that's not right.
You do agree that white racist people are bad, right?
I agree all racist people are bad. Okay. I'm half Hispanic, I felt it. Yeah. In school, when I was young, you'd have these just ridiculously stupid people are usually the ones that do it. But I have never faced systemic racism. That's what critical race theory is trying to perpetuate.
Systemic racism is a reality. I got to get you back on the show.